armor. Yes, that's what it was called, serpentine armor, and it was basically almost like all this but red. And when the figure finally released, they took out the armor and just gave us the big Godzilla with the beams. That I'm gonna get a little bit more rambling in this section of the video. I personally think that this is literally like the final piece to the puzzle. This is proof that it was not meant to be anything else but a toy gimmick. Let me explain. We have heard no recollection, or I mean, like no evidence supporting that this feature with the armor was going to be in Godzilla vs. Kong at any point in the movie's production. Because I can tell you that I once heard a story where the someone apparently on the VFX team said that this was going to be in the movie, and they did the Hong Kong battle, and it was removed from the story in late 2020. That's all they could say. And then they later came out and said that it was all like a joke, or they were all lying or something. I personally think that that was definitely false, obviously, because they were joking about that or something. And so basically saying this is what happens, basically. This is Mega Serpentine Armor Godzilla, essentially. If you really want proof that it was never in the movie, go back to the art book, go back to interviews, go back to behind the scenes photos, go back to the previs. The previs is the big nail in the coffin for me. Because if anyone doesn't know what previs is basically what they want the fights to actually look like. Because you can literally just search up Godzilla vs. Kong previs, and you'll find like tons of different versions of the previs, but it all stayed the same. It literally shows the Hong Kong battle, both round 2 and 3. Round 2 and 3, Godzilla beating the crowd out of Kong, Kong beating the crowd out of Godzilla, and back and forth. Godzilla never had armor on. Even down to the scene where he shot into the Hollow Earth, he never even had armor on. During the fight in Hong Kong, he never had the armor on. And I think that, with armor, remember, it goes against the whole intention of the Godzilla vs. Kong movie. Because think about it this way. Godzilla vs. Kong, as Adam Wingard made it, was so that this movie could be the, end quote, the definitive Godzilla vs. King Kong matchup. And he didn't want to change anything about Godzilla's appearance. So why in the heck would he be the one to also give him armor like this? It's literally not in the movie. It was never in the movie. And I know I never worked on the film, but there's enough evidence supporting that it was never in the film. This was ever just simply a toy gimmick, and that's all it was. My guess is that when they showed these figures, or I guess the Godzilla vs. Kong figures that they had at the time, with the big leak, it was a licensor approving kind of thing, like a licensor pending thing. Because that's what a lot of companies will do. They showcase a product, and they would often have like licensor pending or something. Because I think it was like in early 2020, late 2019 when those things got leaked. I mean, the pandemic wasn't a thing back then. Well, I mean, it was a thing in certain countries, but for mine it wasn't. Because the pandemic for us didn't hit until March. And I remember these photos hitting while I was in class. I was literally looking at my phone when these things were, like, I was literally in my resource class looking at these photos when they dropped, trying to analyze what they were. And I saw the Godzilla with armor, and that was that. This figure is literally what's left of it. It is the Serpentine armor, but now the Titan tech. So this basically kind of closes the door on that whole rumor. It was never in the movie. It was never supposed to be in the movie. The art, it never shows up in the art book. At no point does Adam Wingard ever actually make any like any comment about that. But he also never stated that it was in the movie. He has said time and time again that what was cut, like the most that was ever cut, I think, for Godzilla or Kong, was like a third fight apparently between Godzilla and Kong in the Hollow Earth that would have fought their way to Hong Kong. And that was it. At no point did Godzilla have armor. And I think we can finally put this whole case to rest. Godzilla, in Godzilla vs. Kong, never had serpentine armor. And that's that. So, I'm sorry this was a huge rambling thing. I may just add this to the review, or I might just keep this separate at this point because I kind of go way on a tangent. But I want to kind of address this in the video because, I mean, I'm talking about this, so whenever the heck am I going to be able to talk about this again? But with that being said, yeah, that's just kind of the end of the whole Mega Godzilla, Serpentine Armor kind of whole leak thing. So yeah, that's basically this now. They reworked it into this. And I think, honestly, that's what happened. So, for some size comparisons, here he is next to some basic 6 to 7 inch tall Godzilla figures from the 2021 movie, with the exception of kind of one, but he's literally almost the same exact dang design. With the NECA Godzilla 2019 V2 from Godzilla King of the Monsters, the Atomic Blast or poster version. The Godzilla with Heat Ray from Playmates, same company. And the Godzilla SH Monster Arts from Godzilla vs. Kong 2021. And here he is next to some smaller Heat Ray Godzilla boys with my custom painted Godzilla 2014 customized to 2019 Godzilla finger puppet, my Funko Pop Godzilla with Heat Ray Godzilla, still one of my favorite figures of literally of all time, and the U2's Godzilla with Heat Ray with a custom Heat Ray because mine didn't come with one. Rip. And here he is next to some more miscellaneous Godzilla figures, next to my all-time favorite figure, the NECA Godzilla 2014, and the Playmates Godzilla 2004 from the Toho Classic Series. Yes, it's now called the Toho Classic Series, or Toho Series, depending on which one you prefer. And here he is next to some King Kong figures from various different companies, including the Playmates Titan Tech Kong, even though I've constantly compared him with him throughout the video, the Playmates Kong with Battle Axe, and the NECA King Kong, which, honestly, I feel like if you were to take off all of his armor and, like, maybe do a bit more detail on him, he actually would be a perfect companion to your NECA Kong from a size standpoint. I mean, look at it, it's perfect. Okay, so Godzilla might be a little bit beefier than I thought he would, but theory tested, theory proved. And so, yes, with this amazing, like, three-way brawl going on, I think, what are my overall thoughts on these figures? I think that these are spectacular. Also, I decided to add the Giants in, because, you know, for size comparison, there's the Giants. These are pretty dang sweet figures. I definitely think the Titan Tag Kong probably got the, not really the better treatment, but I feel like there's a lot to him that Godzilla doesn't have. But at the same time, there's a lot of things Godzilla has that Kong doesn't have. And I think that overall they balance each other really well. And if you're gonna buy these, buy them together. The best experiences are always in pairs, and this is proof of that. This is proof Playmates is one of the most creative companies that has ever held either the Godzilla or Kong license. And this is incredible. I really think you should go out and buy these. No problem at all. Now, do I think that these will appeal to everybody? No. I don't think that either the Titan Tech figures are going to appeal to pretty much anybody who's like a major collector. Because, when we're collecting, we often expect our products to be high in terms of quality. These are not high in terms of quality whatsoever. These are obviously on the cheaper side, made for kids with softer details, minimal posability, and hit or miss QC. Much like SHMA, which runs you like what, in the hundreds at this point? So it's safe to say that these figures are definitely not up to par with the higher end collectibles, but that's because these things are completely in their own, like, world. They're not meant to compete with the bigger ones. These are children's toys. They're small, they're cheap, they're affordable. They come in a whole variety of different sizes. Look at this. There's a size for everybody here. 6 to 7 inch, 8 to 9 inch, 11 to 12 inch. This is beautiful. And even if you want to go a little bit further with the 13-inch Mega figures, with both Mega Punching Kong and Mega Heat Ray Godzilla, which are like this tall. Can't even see my hand. There you go. Which are like this tall in comparison to the giant figures. Really puts the word Mega into like good context here, because that is proof that these figures are really some of the best Godzilla merch. They're not the best in terms of their quality, but they're the best in terms of how affordable and how mass-produced these things are. I think more people should be starting to be grateful for these figures, because 10 years ago, the only thing we had was what? Bandai Creation stuff? And not to say Bandai Creations is awful or anything, they most certainly are great. It's just that after a while, they seem to be getting much more lacking with the license and just repurposing the same figures over and over and over again, just doing reissues, and just literally just imports. It was reissues and imports they were doing, nothing more. These are all brand new figures from the ground up. Yes, they have borrowed molds in the past, especially with the exception of this, the beam effect. But it still holds true. Well, hold on. But that's only because Playmates had a rocky start. They didn't plan their start like that. We gave them so much flack, gave them so much jokes, and look where Playmates is at now. They're pumping out figures like this. I'm all for it. I'm really hoping to see if they have that King Ghidorah in stock pretty soon, because dang, does that look sweet. May have to get that one off eBay probably. But with that being said, thank you guys for watching this video. If you guys liked it, definitely subscribe to the channel. Jesus loves you. God bless you all. Go out there and spread the gospel. Share Jesus' word. And I will see you guys in the next video. I know this video was a lot longer than it ever needed to be, but that's only because I like to ramble, and that's what we do here on this channel. See you guys later. Peace out, everyone.